Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It is exactly 9:21 a.m. news and views right here on Salam Media with me, Julie Ali. Now, the 27th of April today marks the 29th anniversary of South Africa's first democratic elections. Freedom Day, as it is known, is commemorated every year to honor those unsung heroes who fought for freedom and paved the way for an equal, representative, non-racial society. And of course, the theme for this year is consolidating and safeguarding democratic gains. Let's talk to someone who has totally opposing views to what Freedom Day means for him and hundreds of thousands of other South Africans. We will be talking with Thapelo Mohapi, the Secretary General of the Shack Dwellers Movement, Abahlali baseMjondolo, and he is talking about Unfreedom Day. They have marches planned to highlight the plight of shack dwellers. Thapelo Mohapi, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to the listeners. It's always a pleasure.
Okay, nice to have you on the show. Sorry to hear about the plight of shack dwellers. And you have very, very strong views about the fact that today, for you and hundreds of thousands of other shack dwellers, it is not Freedom Day, but it is Unfreedom Day. Talk to us more about it.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. We are still living in shack of indignity, as we have had in Dakota settlements in this Pingo, where more than 300 families were gutted, lost their homes. It has become a norm for us. There are no basic services, access to water, toilets, and the women are raped while they are going to the toilet to actually seek what human nature calls. And of course, the fact that it is the provision of basic services is a human right that is enshrined in our constitution, and the government of the day fails to provide to the people. There is no decent houses for us. There is no access to land. We are still evicted brutally. To date, Abahlali baseMjondolo have lost 24 activists who have been shot by hired hitmen, who have been died in the hands of the police. Last year alone, we lost 4 activists. One was killed by the police in a police raid in the informal settlement in Bayville, and 3 of our people have been killed in the Kenana informal settlement by hired hitmen who targeted them. And their crime was to fight for their rights, exposing corruption when it comes to land, when it comes to the allocation of houses that are built by the government. And as Abahlali baseMjondolo, we are saying that we don't deny the fact that freedom was fought for, but we are mourning the freedom that was supposed to be given of us, that has been robbed of us by those who are corrupt in government to continue to steal from the poor. The eThekwini municipality in Durban, in fact, filthy. Informal settlements are not, there's no refuse collections. People are living with rubbish all over the place. So we are living in a dire situation. So that's why we are saying we are not free. We are not disputing the fact that they were heroes and heroines who fought and stood for equality in this country. But we are saying that their fight is now being, people are not respecting that and honoring that by not providing services for the poor and the marginalized in our community.
I commend you, Thapelo, for commending and recognizing the people who fought for the freedom of our country. But almost 30 years later, I also hear what you are saying, that there is a lot of people, there are hundreds of thousands of people who seem to be forgotten because of politicians who have become so corrupt. And so thank you for, for recognizing and honoring the masses of South Africans who resisted and suffered under apartheid and faced death injury and repression from the security forces. We also know that many others battled forced removals, discrimination, and other injustices, which the global community classifies as a crime against humanity. So, how are you and Abahlali baseMjondolo going to highlight your plight today and possibly throughout the coming days?
Yes, we had a march yesterday which was attended by thousands of people in the Durban CBD. We marched from a Carisfontein sports ground, which has a significance in the history of South Africa, where Fosatu at the time was formed in Durban. We marched to the city hall and handed over our memorandum of demands, and all the demands that was mentioned: basic services, decent housing, and of course, lately we are very disappointed by the fact that the justice system and the police in this country do not protect the marginalized. As I mentioned, we lost 24 activists in our movement in the hands of the police, in the hands of the people. And I can tell you now that there was only one case of where a leader was assassinated and where we got justice and where the investigation went very well. Away to what councillors of the ANC in what 12 were arrested for killing Tolindlovu, an activist today. So for us, this means that the poor and marginalized do not count in the society, and we are killed with impunity, and nobody is held accountable. But when the elites are being killed, government responds quickly and gives time frames, and people are arrested with immediate effect. But with us, it doesn't happen. So there is no equality there. So we are calling for the removal of the Minister of Police, because we believe that he is the Minister of the rich and not the poor. But mostly what is concerning us is that we only count in this government during elections. You see politicians coming in and out of the informal settlement when there is elections, and they get surprised when they see the conditions that we are living under, as if they are not living in South Africa. And we don't deny the fact that there are houses that are being built. But who lives in those houses? It's not the people who are supposed to be beneficiaries. Houses in KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban, in the municipality in particular, have been allocated by white councillors on bonnets of cars, feeding them. And when you expose those, people are killed in the process. So there are steps that are moving forward that have been done, but those steps are taken us backwards by those who are actually corrupt, who allocate. And if you go to Konobia, which is a greenfield project right now in Durban, 50% of the people who are living in that particular area are not the beneficiaries of those homes. It's people who bought it through the allocation process. So we are very concerned that the corruption has robbed us. We are in this crisis and in this mess because of corrupt individuals who are only interested in enriching themselves and their families, who have no concern about the people on the ground, and we continue to be impoverished in this way. We know what happens to the Durban solid waste. That's why the city of Durban is more than 300 million disappeared in the past, and today we have a backlog of waste removal initiatives. So corruption robs of the poorest of the poor of services. It robs us of decent houses. It robs us of accessing a decent life. And as a result, we are saying that our dignity is not recognized by those who are actually stealing from government. And we are saying that today, as the president speaks, he must speak on how he deals with speed when it comes to corruption. And those perpetrators and those who are stealing from the poor must be not only arrested and going to court and becoming and drawing a crowd and getting support, but they must be brought into justice, and they must be put behind bars, so that whoever wants to do corruption in government must think again. But if no one is convicted, people will continue to steal in this country from the poor.
Thapelo, there is a perception, and I don't want to make a generalization, but there is a perception out there that people who live in informal settlements are by and large illegal immigrants. Do you think because of that perception, people in illegal settlements are being ignored, are being marginalized even further? And then coming back to the RDP houses, the other perception is that the rightful owners of those houses get the houses allocated to them by government. They then go and live with family members and rent out their houses again to migrants. And because of that, we're sitting with the problem that we're sitting with currently in South Africa.
Yes. No, look, let me answer the second question. One of the reasons people go back to informal settlements when they have been allocated with houses is the fact that government speaks about the people without the people. People are not meaningfully engaged about the developments because government provides houses for people and therefore we should accept it. It doesn't matter the location of those houses. People build informal settlement in well-located places so that they could be closer to firms, they could be closer to opportunities, to universities, to transport. So if you take somebody into a greenfield place where there is no school that is in existence, there's no factories for them to look for work, and they have to travel 3 times in order to get to find jobs, to look for jobs and seek for jobs. So those are some of the issues that people are not engaged prior to these houses being built. And of course, people, when they are located 50 kilometers away from the city, they'll accept the house and rent it out or sell it and then come back to the informal settlements because they are interested in the economic activities that are taking place in the city. And we are calling for government to say, let people also, they cannot be deprived by colonialism and deprived by apartheid further. But they also need well allocated land in the cities closer to the benefits. And we are saying that government must meaningfully consult and speak to the people on the ground before they are allocating homes to people. The government is not doing us a favor by building these homes. It's taxpayers' money. It's money that comes from that. It's money that is made and built up by the economy of this country, which we all contribute. And therefore, we should not saying that people, when they leave these homes and come to the informal settlement, that they are ungrateful when we have not engaged with them and find out if they are, wanting to relocate. The problem of illegal immigrants starts at the border. Once somebody enters the country illegally, it's a government, it's a political will and failure of a government to deal with the people coming inside and out of the country. But I don't want to get to a point where people are blamed for being in the country because sometimes people would say illegal immigrants and let's deal with illegal immigrants and dealing with, sometimes they even deal with people that are not in the country illegally. And yes, of course, there are people in our country that lives in the informal settlements. Well, of course, there's always been a blame from the state to say that sometimes the switch system was meant for a certain number of people, but because there are more people who are living in those countries, in those areas, in those communities, and some of them are illegal in this country. And we are saying that it's a responsibility of any government, whether somebody is illegal or legal in the country. That question started at the border. We should have protected the borders of South Africa and ensure that people don't enter our borders. But once they are in the country, they are human beings. They should be provided with all services like anyone other human beings that live in this country. They should have access to healthcare. They should have access to basic services because those are rights. Those are in the Bill of Rights. The protection of human beings that live in this country. So we are saying that the issue of illegal immigrants is a responsibility of government in the migration laws of this country.
Thapelo Mohapi, Secretary General of Shack Dwellers Movement. Abahlali, baseMjondolo, thank you indeed for talking to us about what you have, actually you and a whole host of other people who feel disenfranchised have actually named this day Unfreedom Day, and you have planned marches to highlight the plight of shack dwellers. Go well, take care, and nice talking with you. We do hope that your situation does improve, and we do hope that government finally hears you guys and start providing the very basic of your needs so that you too can have dignity. Go well and God bless.
Thank you very much.
9:36 News and Views right here on Salam Media, standing by to talk to us regarding Freedom Day is Dr. Sats Cooper, founding member with the Steve Biko of the 19 Black Consciousness. I hope I'm saying that correctly. A founding member with Steve Biko of the 19 Black Consciousness Movement. I think that's how it should read. And also, we'll be talking with a national leader of the African ANC Youth League, and that's you, Kolekani Skosana. We're going to be talking about Freedom Day, so please do stay with us.